Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to ClearPath Retirement Radio. I am your host, Stewart Smith. I'm here with Mitch Davies.
Good morning, everyone.
And boy, do we have a show for you guys today. So, if you're somewhere between 50 and 65 and you've ever looked at your retirement savings and thought, oh no, is this enough? Today, this show is for you. You are not alone. In fact, in a recent survey, nearly half of Americans over 55 feel they haven't saved enough for retirement. That's half. That's not a fringe group. That's your neighbors, your coworkers, maybe even your siblings. So here's what I want to say here right now. It's not too late.
It's not too late, Stewart.
We're going to talk about that today. There are real concrete steps you can take starting today to close the gap and still build a retirement you feel good about. Let's walk through those today, Mitch, and let's get these people feeling a lot better about their options.
I'm excited, Stewart. This is something we hear all the time, and got a lot of good points here.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, how many folks out there are looking at, those 401k statements, those IRA statements, their bank accounts and that sort of thing, and thinking, I just haven't done enough, and I'm never going to be able to retire.
That's right.
I hear it all the time. It actually is one of those things that I kind of live to work on and fix for folks. And people come in all the time, and we have that discovery call where we sit down and we start getting to know them and what's going on with them, and how they're feeling about retirement and what they want their retirement to look like. And how many times, Mitch, have they looked across the conference room table at us and said, I think I'm gonna have to work forever?
All the time, Stewart. That's probably the main thing we hear. They're looking at this stuff and they don't have a plan, really. They don't have a clear outline of how this is going to look, and they're just looking at, like you said, 401ks, and they don't really see the picture. They don't really see how it's going to work, and they're like, my only outcome is to just keep working, right? Is to just keep earning and contributing, and maybe one day I can retire. Yeah,
that makes me very, very sad inside to hear that when someone says that. And what makes me feel better about the situation is when I can sit down with them and actually show them a path forward where they don't have to feel so hopeless and where they do see light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what we do at ClearPath. So let's talk about things that they can be doing to help themselves and to start to improve this picture as they go forward. And one thing is, a lot of people aren't aware, but the IRS actually allows you to do something called catch-up contributions. And Mitch, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, let's get right into it with something you can take action on right away. So the catch-up contribution. So I'm sure you're aware, maybe you have a 401k at work, or you have an IRA that you contribute to outside of work. There's limits to that, right? The 401k limit's a little more lenient. You can get up to $24,000 in it per year. The IRA caps out at $7,000 per year. But once you hit 50, once you turn 50 years old, that stretch after that, they allow what's called a catch-up contribution. And all this is the ability to sock away a little bit more money into those accounts. They don't let you just put unlimited in these accounts because they're so tax advantaged. So for a 401k, if you're contributing after 50, you can put an extra $7,500 per year on top of the regular limit. So that ends up being a little over $30,000 you can put away pre-tax. And remember, with these 401k contributions, we always say at least be contributing up to that match. This is just pre-tax money. The employer's matching this. You're getting more money. You're getting paid more money, essentially, however you want to cut it up. So having the ability to contribute even more, maybe take advantage of more of a match, is super strong. And if you have just an IRA that you contribute to, and you're taking the tax deduction, you can do an extra $1,000. So this is one step you can take right away. Call your HR department, log in your 401k, say, hey, do I have catch-up contributions turned on? If you don't, that's a quick, simple, I'm over 50, let's turn this on, let's get an extra, maybe $7,000, $8,000 into that 401k. And that's one thing that can dramatically help.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Mitch said, get on the phone, call your HR department, or log into your 401k portal this week and confirm that you have catch-up contributions turned on. If you are in a situation where you are getting, paid every month, you're paying your bills, and you still have a surplus, you still have money left over at the end of the month, I want you to really consider increasing the contributions that you're making to that 401k at work.
Yeah.
I just people who take this money and just put it into savings where they're not really earning much interest on it, and just let that build, that you are doing yourself a major disservice when you could be putting that extra money every month pre-tax into your 401k account and then having it invested and earning much, potentially much higher returns there. That can make a huge difference over, the last 10, 15 years of working, and really change the trajectory of your retirement dramatically. So if this isn't something you're doing or that you've thought about, this is why planning is so important. And I just want to, say real quick, if you are in that, 10 years till retirement window, and you are feeling like you haven't done enough, and you don't even like, talking about it, you don't like having discussions about it, you don't like opening those statements when you get them because it just makes you feel worse about the situation. This is where planning comes in. It's never too late to really, get started on a really solid plan. And, 20 years ago was the best time, but the second best time is today, right?
That's right.
So, it's time to take action. If this has been bothering you, if this has been, slowly eating away at you over time, and you just feel like, man, I'm just going to have to work until I'm 70, 75, that may be the case, but it may not be the case if you take action today and you start improving your situation. You can go to ClearPathRetirement.com. We have a lot of information on that website that can kind of get you started and get you going. But more importantly, click that Get Started Today button and make an appointment to sit down with my team and I. I've been helping people retire for 2.5 decades now, and we have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share with you about all of the ways that you can get caught up, all of the ways that you can improve your situation, and it's a little bit at a time. It's consistency over a long period of time. It's chipping away at that block just one day at a time, and I'm telling you, over time, that makes a huge impact. 1% higher savings rate over a 20-year period can be the difference in $1 million. So, you think about that for a second. I mean, if you get started today and you're able to, maybe you're contributing, just the match at work in your 401k right now. Maybe it's a 5-6% match and you're just doing your 5-6% to make sure you don't leave free money on the table, because the other mistake we see is people aren't even doing the match.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're leaving free money on the table. And if you think about it, let's say your employer matches the first 6% of your income that you put into the 401k. That is 100% return immediately on the first 6% of your money. How can you turn that down? How can you leave free money on the table and feel good about that? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So if you're not at least doing the match, do the match. But even beyond that, Mitch, if they can do 1% more than that, 2% more than that, think of the dramatic change that can make over a 10-year, 15, 20-year period. That can really be the difference between success and failure and running out of money in retirement. And we've seen it time and time again. So these are things that you need to be considering. If you're not doing those things, just sit down, take a moment, take a breath, think this through, and make that small change it will pay huge dividends down the road.
It will, Stewart. And one more point on that. If you're not sure if you can, one of the biggest things we hear at our office all the time is someone who feels like they're behind. A big fear, a big reason to not move forward with starting this process is feeling like you don't have everything together. I always like to tell people, don't let the fear of not being prepared stop you from preparing, right? So many times people come in and they're like, I don't know, I'm not in a good spot, right? I'm behind, I don't want to, it's almost scary to start. Come sit down with us and start our process. What we do is get you prepared. If you come in, you're like, my accounts are a mess, I don't really know where my logins, I don't really know where anything is. We can help you through that. Don't feel like you have to be 100% ready with everything perfect, because waiting months and months and months for that. We hear that all the time, and people will delay this process because they don't feel like they're ready. Let us come sit down. If you feel like don't have everything organized perfectly, come sit down with us. Let us take you through that and get you to the point where we can show you, hey, you have a surplus. If we could remove $50 a month from your cash flow, would that hurt? And they're like, no, we've got plenty. So let us show you that on paper, how this will actually work for you.
Yeah. So we're winding down this first segment. Like we say, if you're feeling behind and it's troubling you, go to ClearPathRetirement.com, click that Get Started button, give us a call at the office, 864-775-5033. Quit procrastinating, take action today. Let's start down this path together. We'll be right back